evil science and magic buddies.
Hello and welcome to the Kryptonaut Podcast presents Evil Science and Magic Buddies, the show within the show, the conspiracy of the conspiracy, the Crypto Roundtable. I am Mark Storrs, and with me as always is...
Chris Carnesali.
Oh, and...
Proper.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Robert Morphy.
Yeah.
Esquire. No, I'm not a lawyer. I lied. Just Robert Morphy. Thomas Morphy. if you
Thomas.
must.
Nice.
The
Robert.
Deuce.
Robert and Christopher, thank you so very much. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this week's episode. Listener Stories 11.
We're back.
We're back. We're doing it.
We're back.
It's there.
I'm thinking that we should really make this a monthly thing. Not just because, frankly, we have so many fucking fantastic stories that I would love to do. So, like the way we used to do Mystery Bag Monday.
Yeah,
If
totally.
not, at least bi-monthly. I mean, we won't get on a strict schedule, but we're still getting stories, and they are fucking phenomenal. So I'm thinking we're going to make it a semi-regular
Yeah,
feature.
we can
Yeah,
pop
we're
in.
not going to stop doing them. We're
No.
gonna do
we
them.
can jump, and especially with like Halloween coming around and shit, like
Oh,
perfect timing and a couple extras out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Some
Yeah.
gems.
As always, thank you to everyone that contributes to our Patreon campaign. That is at patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. $1 is a shout out, $5 is a shout out and bonus audio. Both the $1 and $5 tier will get you lifetime access to our Discord server, which is appropriately called Heller Space.
Ha!
I mean, yeah.
So it has to be. And yeah, our Discord's fucking awesome. I've been in there jamming on it for the last couple of weeks. We're working on doing a Q&A in there at some point. We're going to get that technology figured out. If I can get the bots to work properly, which I think I can.
I believe in you.
Dope.
I think I can.
Yeah.
So that's going to be awesome. So thank you to everyone over there. We have some shout-outs to do before we get started. Robert.
Let's begin with Pedro G.
What up, Pedro? Thank
Dope.
you.
Nicolos Garlando.
Hell yeah, Nicholas.
Oh, that's so exotic
I
sounding.
love it.
Danielle, excuse me, I totally fucked that up, unless it is a French pronunciation. Daniel Carbelius.
Yeah, what up, Daniel or Danielle?
Simply, it's Daniel.
Okay,
I
Daniel.
fucked it
Sorry,
up.
Danny.
Eric.
Eric. What up, Eric?
All right.
Thank you, Eric. Timothy Burke.
Yeah, Timothy.
Rob Pierce.
Hell yeah, Rob.
Marcus Uvel.
Yeah, it's an awesome last name.
Well,
Jasmine M. Ramirez. I think I got it right. If not, again, the deal is obvious. You tell us, and you get it twice. The name's so nice, I fucked it up twice.
yeah.
That belongs to Carrie, our girl Carrie. We definitely fucked her name.
Oh,
like
my
multiple-
God.
Not even going to try to say it.
Oh, I
So-
tried to rationalize it when we briefly spoke to her on Discord.
Yes.
Speak of the
Man.
devil.
Exactly. What up, Carrie?
Nick Bennett.
Nice. Thank you, Nick.
LLH, all caps.
I like that.
Oh, shit. All
I
right.
do too. Is it an institution?
Yeah, I
Is
feel
it-
like it, yeah.
I feel like it's like some Cronenbergian institution where
It
like
could
Oliver
be.
Reed is making hate babies or something.
LLH and the Hate Babies. I like it.
Megan Scholar.
Yeah. What up, Megan?
Violet Martin.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much.
Alan Ledger.
Nice.
That's a made up name, Alan. You cannot fucking fool me. I have really no reason to say that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Paulo DeFritis Jr.
Paulo G.
Perfect.
Fridas Jr. from Bloody Perks.
Oh shit.
Yeah. What
It's
up, Paulo?
Fridas, not Fridas.
It's
Fridas.
G. Fridas. G. Fridas.
It's a D
It's that's how it's pronounced. It's G. Fridas.
with a D.
Yes. No. With it's a D, but it sounds like a G. G. Fridas.
Well, fucking slap my
I
ass
can't.
and call me
I know.
Buttercup.
I had to listen to his Patreon video like 3 times to hear how he actually pronounces it. But Bloody Perks, check it out. We had the links up in previous episodes for the Kickstarter. It should still be going on. But yeah, no. What up, Paolo? Thank you so very much. His
Yes.
work is dope.
Oh no,
He's super
it's
cool.
phenomenal.
So-
And regardless of my inability to pronounce your name, we
Yeah, no,
support
Mark
you
knew
and
and
your
didn't
work.
tell you.
No,
This is how we plan things ahead of time. As in, we fucking don't. We drink 9 beers before, eat a shitload of mint Milano cookies,
that's what we do.
bitch about the Dune music.
Yeah,
and
the Dune trailer was dope, but the music not so much. Anywho, I should have told you that beforehand. Anyway, Robert, I'm sorry. Continue.
Jake Suave.
Hell yeah, Jake Suave.
That's a beautiful name.
That's dope.
Danny Castellano.
That's dope.
Ken Steedle.
Yeah, Ken. What
Steedle.
up?
Sven Jevtik,
Yeah, Sven.
my God,
Hell yeah. Awesome last name.
Chris Telema.
Chris Dilemma. Oh, yeah, Chris Dilemma. I think they are also on our Discord. What up?
Oh, hot shit. Well, fucking thank you for signing up.
Fuck yeah.
This is my personal favorite so far. Commissar Dredd.
Yes, dude. When that Patreon came in, I'm
Commissar.
like, Commissar Dredd.
Judge got a promotion.
Yeah, but maybe that's in the
Commissar,
Judge Dredd
man.
universe somewhere, and I just didn't know it.
I love
don't
the
think so.
Commissar X movies. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
are at all into Euro spy movies of the 60s. Why would you be? But it's a subgenre I fucking love.
Sure.
Awesome.
And Commissar X with a K is tits up.
Awesome.
Neither here nor there.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Commissar Dredd.
Thank you.
Now we have a double shout out. John Polney, I believe it is. Polney?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
John Polney, thank you very much. But we're also going to give a shout out to his loving wife, Emily Shipsy Polney.
Hell yeah.
For, bringing it all home. So
Perfect.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too so very much. It's a dope married couple listening to our podcast.
I love
it's fucking
it. I
dope.
hope it's something like,
Yeah.
you do relaxing together. Like maybe when you're doing house cleaning or just lounging on the couch, someone's got a book, the cat's on one of your laps, some shit's playing in the background of the TV.
And it's us.
Sure,
And
and it's us.
These three jagoffs telling you about UFOs.
There you go.
Or whatnot.
Excellently.
Doug H.
Doug H.
Doug H.
James Pace.
Hell yeah, James.
Jessica, with a K, Smith.
Yeah, Jessica.
Paul Cherry.
Hell yeah.
Jimmy W.
Awesome. Thank you all. We got a correction.
Bree Metal John.
Yes. Bree Metal. Yes.
Or is it Metal Jan?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Metal John.
I don't. Unfortunately, with some of these corrections, I don't have the
wait a-
original spelling,
wait a
so I
minute.
can't even compare and contrast.
She told you she said it that you said it wrong,
Yep.
Me, yeah, probably.
but then she didn't tell you how to say it.
No, she did. She's
But you
phonetically
still
spelled
know how to say it.
Yeah, Metal.
Well, the-
Metal John.
the thing
I
is-
believe she gave us that there is a pronunciation where it is like Metal Jan, depending on
Jays are so
yeah,
goddamn
on where you're from.
squirrely.
Yeah.
Whether you're from fucking Scandinavia, whether you're from South America,
Yeah,
or
dude.
wherever you're from,
I mean, I
Jays
feel
do whatever the fuck
I feel
they
like
want.
it's usually a yeah in Scandinavia
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of the time, but
And Jorge, an H sound
Yeah.
in like Puerto Rico and a lot of places. But anyway, we're gonna try this. Bree Metal John.
Bree Metal John.
And
what
if we
up?
fucked it up, guess what? You get the 3B.
If you get the 3B like we did for Carrie, there you go.
you could get a quad.
You could get a quad.
Yeah, I know. We will
You could
literally
get an-
do it
you
until
could
we get it
an
right.
octo
Totally.
name.
Totally.
An Octos call out. But thank
Awesome.
you all so much.
Thank
it
you.
helps us. It helps us get the shit we need. It helps us keep going. And the show of love and support really is monumental. And as we're talking to friends while we're eating our mint Milanos and sipping our beers and pre-gaming like buddies. We just revel in the fact that you guys care enough to help us out, and it really means the fucking world.
Thank you all so very much. Be sure to jump in that Discord. Robert, let's get it started. Listener Stories 11.
Indubadilly. This is a fucking phenomenal story we got from Dan from Ireland. I was haunted by it when I read it. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So without further ado, let's do this. Hey guys. So under recent COVID conditions, I've been stuck working from home alone. My roommate is stuck in Italy. Not so bad. My landlord in France. They picked horrible times to go on holiday, but great destinations to be fucking stuck in. I like to pull up podcast episodes late at night, just so I don't feel so alone. Honestly, having a few voices in the background helps me to sleep. And your podcast usually gives me incredible dreams. That's fucking awesome.
well, dope.
Awesome.
Hitting the imagination
Yeah,
button.
cool.
Thank
Incredible.
you.
Yeah.
In the middle of the worst storm so far this year, I put on your most recent episode and got into bed waiting for sleep. That's so Snoopy on the fucking doghouse.
Jesus, yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night. I love it.
And Mark, Chris, and Rob were there.
As I lay in the dark, listening to Diego's story, oh shit, that was haunting. Over the rolling thunder, I realized that his story was very similar to my own. I laid awake all night listening and started writing my own story out in the hopes that someone might be able to provide some answers. I grew up super rural, very isolated in the Republic of Ireland. My neighbors were cows and crows. Do we not ever get that? everyone's like, "Oh, you grew up in New York." It's
Upstate
like,
New York
Yeah,
is
upstate
fucking
New York.
cows and crows. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It
what
is
we have.
literally like
Yeah.
I think Japanese documentarians and National Geographic have come to our hometown
Because of the crows,
because
yeah.
of the murder of
Yeah.
crows.
Dairy and crows.
Yeah, that's it. That's
what it
really it.
is.
So we absolutely identify. I didn't have many friends, and even fewer wanted to come to my house because it was so far from anywhere else. You could easily go 2 weeks without seeing another person.
Jesus.
So way out, I guess.
Yeah, wow.
I mostly played by myself, running around outside with homemade weapons. Yes.
cool.
I totally identify with that. A bit of plastic piping and handlebar grips off a bike made a great lightsaber.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes! Oh
Fuck
my
yeah.
God. Dude, I used to fashion spears out of twine, rocks I would sharpen on the
Twine.
sidewalk, and fucking sticks. As
Okay.
if I was Neanderthal Rob in upstate New York
Yeah, that's
fucking
like-
in the 80s.
Well, you never know when you're going to need that shit.
You never know.
That's like some weird Lord of the Flies shit.
Oh, so dumb. I had no reason to use it. I'd made my own bullseyes. I wasn't like about killing animals, but I fully identify with making your own
Yeah.
ghetto-ass weapons and just
Perfect.
living a life.
Totally.
It's phenomenal. For a little bit, my playtime outside would often be interrupted by a massive black dog that would chase me inside. We all know that. We all know there's a legend surrounding it, the ominous black dogs of Great Britain,
Yep.
heralds of death, who knows. It seemed to be wild, so there was no owner to complain to. It just became a fact of life for me. If you see the black dog, you run inside. After a while, it stopped showing up. I just assume it got caught or something. Around the age of 10, I started getting weird vibes when I would play outside. A sense that I was being watched. It didn't happen every time, and at first it would pass, but eventually it would happen almost every time, and it wouldn't pass. This would happen over the course of a few years, slowly getting more intense. By the age of 12, I could hear footsteps on the gravel and see something lurking around the corner or peeping at me from behind my dad's car. The fuck.
Okay.
Whatever it was, it seemed to be becoming more real, more solid.
Oh, okay.
From what I could see, it looked like a person, a humanoid shape, but there were no features, just blackness. In my kid's brain, it reminded me of the Venom symbiote. Oh my God, I can so identify with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
All right.
Years later, I read accounts of shadow people, which seemed pretty similar to what I saw, but I can't say for sure. I knew instinctively that telling my parents about the shadow man would be a bad idea. So whenever it showed up, I'd just go inside. I was scared because I didn't understand what it was, but it wasn't actively aggressive. I'd almost describe it as leashed. That's so
Okay.
much.
Well,
Yeah, shit. All right. Well,
And it's.
I mean, good.
I know.
It's leashed.
I hate to digress too much, but I have to say this: that fear of telling your parents, the people that protect you, the people that ostensibly love you more than anything, but you just instinctively know that their perspective on the world is not
Right.
going to allow for this.
Yeah.
They will find a way to dismiss it as a dream or something you saw in a comic book, like
Right.
the symbiote, or a movie or whatever. And even if that's not true, even if his parents might have been utterly understanding, it's still that terrifying thought, like, I can't say what's in my guts.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I know I'm going to be shit on, and worse yet, not protected.
Yeah. No,
I
that's-
have mad empathy.
that's
Mad
terrifying.
empathy for Dan in this case. But I'm intrigued by the thought that whatever this is, it seems leashed.
Yeah.
I got bad vibes from this thing, but it never moved from behind the car or low wall. I got the feeling it wanted to, but something was holding it back. Again, it's just this perspective, but intriguing. One thing that really bothers me in hindsight is that it seemed to wait to reveal itself. If I stayed near the front door, I wouldn't feel anything. If I got too far from the door, I'd immediately feel the bad vibes. I don't know if it was intentionally trying to draw me closer or if it had to stay a certain distance from the house for whatever reason, but I knew I shouldn't get too close. Eventually, I was too freaked out to go outside. So I fired up my Sega, yes,
Nice.
inside, and I learned to love computer games. That's so interesting. I'm not going to attribute every couch potatoism or every avid video game player as somebody that is a sensitive and does not want to confront the shit that might be in the broader world.
Right.
But I do know from my personal experience and talking to certain people that truly are sensitives, that this is not a totally minority experience. There's a lot of people that get a sense of not just panic attacks, not just crowds, not just human beings, but the thought that something outside, something maybe beyond the scope of reality, or reality as we accept it,
right,
is haunting them, and they retreat into a safe space made of virtual reality couches and Doritos.
Okay, yeah.
And we all know people like that.
Yeah, totally.
And I mourn for them. That's really tough.
That's fucking that just sucks. Like there's just no fun.
I had my own playroom, my own TV, and all of that. So I mostly hung out there. I'd get home, go to my room, do my homework, eat dinner, and watch TV there. For some reason, my parents decided to put massive patio doors leading from my room to the garden. And then the bad vibes started again.
Don't ever put the patio doors off the kid's room.
I know, he was safe. He was
not
cool.
good.
You know what the wood paneling
That's a weird
does?
choice, but
Wood paneling represses demons.
Yeah.
Patio doors invites the devil.
Exactly.
well,
God damn
wood
it.
paneling ain't the greatest. Let's be honest.
Oh no, you're right. It really is.
I grew up in a
it's 70s
wood-paneled
porn
fucking
and
room.
alcoholism and regret.
I have
but it still deflects demons.
I have replaced a
maybe.
good majority of the wood paneling in my home with
Good.
some fresh sheetrock. So yes,
Good, fresh, new,
fresh
clean.
sheetrock.
It's clean.
It's clean.
I declare the sheetrock clean.
I'm never sober.
R.I.P.
At the
Zelda
end-
Rubinstein.
At the end of a
Yeah.
sheetrock job, I'm never sober, and I'm
How
also
could you
I'm
be?
also not
Clean.
swearing. I'm dirty and I'm swearing.
So you're dirty, profane,
Yep.
and drunk as
I
fuck.
can't mud and tape for the fucking life of me. But anyway, Robert,
bless you.
Continue.
The bad vibes started again. I really didn't like going out at night. Even now, being out there at night gives me the heebie-jeebies. Since it's so isolated, there are no lights outside, just the moon and the stars. On clear nights, I've never seen a sky like it. On dark nights, you are very aware of how alone you are.
Ugh.
And every night, without fail, I could feel something watching me through the patio doors after it got dark. Thankfully, there were massive old-timey, oh, I love the phrase old-timey,
Yeah.
massive old-timey red velvet drapes I could pull closed. As soon as I did, I felt better. It's a barrier. It's a second only maybe to wood paneling.
There you go.
My parents hated when I did that. I don't really understand why. But to this day, they are obsessed with keeping curtains open. Possessed by the ill-omened? Or just
No, some
really
people
like fresh
the
air?
open. A lot of people like the openness. You see the houses on TV that have all sorts of windows, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's a nightmare house.
It's a
for
nightmare
me.
house. Exactly. Serial
Yeah.
killers are looking at you literally 360.
Yeah, no.
What are you doing?
One set of patio doors, maybe to somewhere, and windows, but I don't want windowed walls everywhere and all this open. Like people can look in. Fuck off.
I prefer to close everything up. Maybe keep a little window open for a little bit of a draft or whatever. But yeah, my
Yeah,
wife
windows
enjoys
for light,
everything
but
opened
in
and
one set of
fucking
patio
it's-
doors, but I
yeah,
don't
it
like
sucks.
a lot of open.
My mom
glass.
and dad were like that too, though, because when I was in the living room by myself when I was young, I would have the shades pulled. I'd be watching whatever the fuck I was watching,
Right.
like videotapes of Night Tracks or something, or Night Flight, whatever the fuck it was called from the 80s. They just showed obscure shit.
Yep.
And then having an electric light on so I could be working in my sketchbook. They'd be like, shh, 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 pull the what is wrong with you? Electricity, la la la. The sun is your friend. And I'd be like, the sun is not my friend.
No, yeah, me too. Yeah.
So, it's a common thing.
8-year-old Rob Morphy, enemy of the sun.
I was
Perfect.
enemy of the sun too.
Oh, always.
Yeah. No,
I wanted my
I
shades
still am enemy of
pulled,
the sun.
electricity on. I'm in control of my environment.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because we knew intuitively ill shit happened outside.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure there was like clothes that were fermenting into wine when I was in my teens.
Oh my
no.
God!
In my
yes.
room, it was so dark.
Yeah.
It was just a cave of wine and cheese. Unintentional.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh my God!
Oh, Jesus.
Terrible.
Oh, it's God awful.
I don't really understand why, he continues in reference to his parents' obsession with pulling the drapes. But to this day, they are obsessed with keeping curtains open. Again, that just might be parental distinctions or discretion, I should say. I knew there was no way I could explain that I did not want the shadow man watching me. So I just told them that looking out into the dark freaked me out, which wasn't a lie. Pulling the curtains just became part of my daily routine. As I got older, around 14, my big sister moved out to go to university. A super European thing to do.
Totally.
Going to university is great. And I moved into her bedroom. At first I thought it was great, much bigger than my old room, massive bed, huge closets on the other side of the house from my parents' room, ideal for a growing boy. And his illicit activities, but God bless him. The only downside, the window at the far end of the room was stuck closed. The key had broken off inside it, and there was no way to open it without breaking it. A minor annoyance, no big deal. All right, has any of us
The key.
in the Western world exactly dealt with the
a window with a
key-locked
key?
window?
Yeah, no.
No.
But
I've
then
not-
again, we're not. This might be really old.
Oh, yeah.
Like
older-
It's anathema to our experience, but it doesn't mean it's
The
not
oldest
a common
windows here
thing.
is you got ones that got the weights.
Oh, exactly.
Inside the
Oh,
wood.
those things are a
And,
fucking
yeah,
pain
the
in
rope
ass.
things.
Yeah,
and you just- right.
Those are terrible.
But not like keys.
I mean, I'm in the process of doing replacement windows in my basement, so yeah.
Yeah, but you're replacing windows probably from the 70s.
Yeah.
So it's not like way back to old.
Yeah, not
timey.
from the 17th century.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's true. These are not medieval
Jesus
windows.
Christ.
Yeah, that's true.
Once more, the bad vibes would start. Late at night, right as I was falling asleep. At first, it would happen when I was too asleep to fully wake up. Just awake enough to feel the fear. Slowly, this would become a nearly nightly thing, happening earlier and earlier every night. By the end, it could happen within minutes of the lights in the hall going off. Poor bastard. It always came from the locked window. That was the one constant with this thing. It only ever came from the corner. So you just know, this is the nexus. And is it allowing something in from outside? I mean, it's not an open window, obviously.
Right.
It's just, it's creepy and disturbing that, I mean, I've talked about the closet I had in my room when I was a kid that had no door, wherein Reagan from The Exorcist and weird Erectorcept Spider Baby and Eddie, yes, Aces High,
Yeah, Aces High Eddie came through.
fucking, but this is just icky. I don't like it. Okay. Slowly, it always took its time. It would move closer every night until finally I could feel it sitting on my bed right below my feet. Sometimes I would even feel it reaching out to play with my hair. Ugh. I started spending my nights praying under the covers. That is no way to spend a night, my friend.
No.
I tried to take control back. I got a small desk lamp and I plugged it in beside my bed. Easy to reach. The first night I plugged it in, I was awoken by my parents. Somehow the light had been turned on and was left on for hours while I was asleep. My dad saw the light on while he was doing one of his old man patrols around the
man.
house. Wow.
I do those old man patrols. I check it out. You got to scope
You
the
got,
scene.
you got babies. You got
know what's
babies
going
in a
on. You
life.
got to make sure shit's locked, the things are turned off, there's no water dripping, that the pilot light's still lit.
Water
Checking the
dripping.
gutters? What else are you doing?
I may as well at this
Are you
point,
looking for
yeah.
possums?
I'm just
when
I'm
you
just
do
checking.
an old man patrol around the house
Right.
now in the 21st century, what are you seriously looking for?
Most of the doors are locked, that shit's turned off.
Wait, do you do that from the inside or the outside? Though?
Inside.
Oh, well, this dude I think is doing it from the outside.
I mean, I could do the outside.
Have
if
you
I
ever
wanted
done
to,
the
but-
outside walk around?
Not really. Not at night.
Fair
If
enough.
I'm hammered and I'm in the backyard freaking out about aliens,
As
then
we all
maybe.
do from
Yeah,
time to time.
Exactly. When I,
Yeah,
when
I
I eat
don't
too many
know.
edibles, yeah. I'm
All
like,
right.
Nicole, I help. I need an adult. Yeah. And then I'm like, yeah, that might be doing the outside patrol.
The lamp, going back to his room, Dan's room, was too hot to turn off the normal way. We had to unplug it from the wall. I got yelled at for leaving it on all night because it could have very easily caused a fire.
Yeah, Jesus.
As a result, the desk lamp was removed and I had no more desk lamps, only the regular light in the room. I did not turn the light on. It's possible there was an electrical issue, either something in the socket or the lamp. In the years before and since, I have plugged dozens of things into that exact socket with no issues. Maybe there was something up with that specific desk lamp. Or maybe something was curious about the strange new thing I had set up right beside my bed. Or maybe something intentionally turned it on, either to freak out my parents and get it taken away, or, more sinisterly, to start a fire in a way that could be pinned on me.
Oh.
Shitty and creepy.
All right.
That's entirely speculation on my part. God bless him for admitting it. There could well have been something funky with the lamp. The only thing I know for certain is that I did not turn on that light, and nothing else plugged into that socket has ever had any issues. So my first attempt at pushing back didn't work. What next? Growing up in a religious family means we had tons of crucifixes and statues and gallons of holy water.
Gallons.
Now, Chris and I grew up Roman Catholic. We had crucifixes. I don't know if I had so much as ounces of holy water, but again, it's American Catholic versus Irish Catholic.
I had
Right.
a jar. There was always a jar in the fridge.
Oh, so you? All
Oh,
right.
really?
So Chris had a jar. I had nothing.
Yep.
This motherfucker had gallons. God bless him. So that's going to come in handy when
In-
the Lost Boys visit.
In case you need it.
Well,
In other circumstances,
did it.
probably.
You put it in the
Did it.
squirt guns, and then you hit the fucking vampire with it.
Vampire.
Vampires melt.
cinematically, that works great.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like the third act of Lost Boys. Well, listen, the whole movie is phenomenal, but the third act of Lost Boys is a satisfying adventure.
To fight
80s
back.
style. I mean, you got crossbows.
That's what I'm saying.
You got antlers.
You have to have that.
and you've got fucking holy water.
And he's
one of the
ready.
great
He has
scenes.
got gallons, dude. He's got gallons.
He's got gallons of it.
All right.
I also had a crucifix from Jerusalem, the Holy Land,
Oh, nice.
blessed by a priest at our stations. This is phenomenal. Basically a house party where you get rat shit drunk with the parish priest and play cards until 4 a.m. See, stations is not a thing here.
Yeah.
Like, my grandma basically gave her entire fortune to the Catholic Church, but I don't ever recall. That's why the Irish priests are fucking kicking it live.
Yeah.
That 4 a.m. card playing
Yeah.
house party. We're having a stations. We're getting fizzed up. I love
You
it.
get
I
to-
really do.
I
think
wish
it's
that was a
brilliant.
thing.
Yeah, just get,
I would
ha-
probably have a lot more rapport with priests.
get hammered
Yeah.
for free. Yeah, fuck.
He goes on to say, Dan, that is, I'm not religious myself, but any port in a storm, boy,
You
can I
gotta,
identify.
you gotta try anything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, if
exactly.
shit's going wrong, I'm going to grab sage. I'm going to grab holy water. I'm going to grab any fucking psychic that says they can help me. I'm going to do whatever. All of these things did nothing to help. If anything, the thing seemed amused by it. The only thing I found that helped, even if it was just a little, was visualizing. This is a whole new patina. When it got bad, I would start imagining something fending it off. Like the Ghostbusters blasting it away, or Sam and Dean from Supernatural fucking it up.
It's fucking it up.
And that's interesting. This really is interesting. Okay. So it's not the holy water that's working. It's not the accoutrement of Catholicism or ancient Christianity. It is your mind working in a way that is confronting it through the context of pop culture. This is something very rare. Like, I don't know how well this is explored in supernatural lore, but that is fascinating, that the fighting is going on a psychological level, which in a way even makes it more scientific and
So,
more intention-oriented.
It would be your will or intention. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're willing or yeah, exactly.
And
so
not-
it's almost like
or magic water.
it's almost like magical thought, like a magical
Or
thinking.
Chris wants to say.
Or if you're afraid, making yourself not afraid,
Yeah.
and thus taking its power away,
Yeah.
And that's
which
very,
is
that.
a tulpa.
Oh, all right. That's
all right,
interesting.
okay,
oh my God,
well,
did Chris say tulpa on his
he
own
did.
without being
He did.
prompted?
Holy
How did
shit.
you? I mean, to me, that was the first thing that came to my
What have
fucking
we
mind.
done? Where have
That's
we
the
gone as
first
a
thing that
pod?
came to my
Okay.
mind.
All right, Chris is early in the game.
You're fighting fear in your mind.
Yeah.
It feeds on fear.
It's like the fucking Pennywise conundrum.
Mark, agree with this. We've reached a new plateau in this pod.
Yes, we are here.
Holy fuck, Chris.
You
Here.
fuckers.
Holy shit.
You
Wow.
fuckers.
I know. I delight in my fuckery because, wow.
All right, tulpas. There you
It's
go.
amazing. And you know what? Yes, that's an option. It's a legitimate option, but it also means on a psychological level, if it's a mind parasite or a manifest tulpa, you are fighting it away with your own defense mechanisms, not archaic ritual.
No, but that technically is a form of magic. So yeah.
What?
Intention
Wait,
your
whoa.
intention and your will
Okay.
is technically a form of magic. It's what chaos
So you had
magic
to make that
is.
happen.
It's
didn't
what
you?
thelemic
You
magic
feel good
is.
about it?
No,
You feel good about
wait a
yourself?
minute. Wait a minute. No. Okay, we need to have a pod about what you think magic is.
We will have an entire chaos magic pod at some
And then let me tell you that it's wrong.
point.
So we'll
We
have
will
a different
definitely have
pod
a
on
magic
that.
pod.
But
And we will have other things. But all right.
So using your intentions and your will.
The first time, this is Dan again,
Okay.
God bless him. The first time I tried visualizing, I could feel a shift in the room. It seemed surprised at first, but then it went back to being amused. Now, again, this is interpretive, but I can see that. I can see, like, because we've all had night terrors. We've all been alone in a room and scared and like, fuck you, I'm done. And then, I gained a little stratego ground.
Oh, no.
And then all of a sudden you feel that rush back like, oh, aren't you charming? Aren't you an adorable little waif thinking you have a fucking opinion? And fuck you.
Yeah.
So Dan, I can totally identify with what you're going through. It didn't stop it, needless to say. It just pushed back a bit. It was enough to get some sleep, but not enough to keep it away. With how my life was at the time, with school and other teen angst, it was good enough. Boy, can I identify with that.
Yeah.
You're just getting through the fucking moment. It's a hellhole. One night, it got so bad, I had a full-on breakdown, with my parents rushing in to see what was wrong. Of course, when the lights came on, there was nothing there. I told them I just had a bad dream, and we all went back to bed. As soon as my door closed, I could feel the fear again. This would continue for the next 4 years.
Oh,
God,
Jesus
my heart
Christ.
aches. It really does, man.
That sucks.
Just can't share, can't do. I couldn't tell my parents. I was scared. I was going crazy, and I knew they wouldn't understand. By 18, I was finishing up school and prepping for university and was under a lot of stress. Study after school ran until 7 p.m., and I would meet a different tutor every night at 8, except Friday, and chemistry every Saturday morning.
chemistry.
Oh my God. Is Ireland fucking South Korea now? God bless
That's
you.
crazy. Yeah,
That's too. I mean, I get it.
Good
you're
for
good. You're
good for being on your shit. Yeah,
you
but
get
wow.
into the good university, but it seems like a hellish life. Not as hellish as being tormented by the thing in the window, but still. I was exhausted, on the edge, and nearly every night the invisible man was taunting me. My parents thought I was just tired and overworked. It became part of my daily schedule. School by 8:30 a.m., after school study by 4:15, tutor by 8, home by 10, hiding from the creeping dread by 11.
Yeah, Jesus.
It's not funny at all, but it's
No, it's not.
No,
but,
funny
but
the way
it's,
he
it's
described
weird
it.
Dan
that you
wrote
just,
it in a
you just kinda,
beautiful way. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you
terrible.
just kind of build it into your everyday fucking schedule.
Oh.
Well, 10:45, 15 minutes of creeping dread. Let's
Like
get ready.
the worst I had, I knew I would read like an
9.
hour and a half of Stephen King and then not be able to sleep for 2 more hours, then get up exhausted.
Right.
But not
Creeping
be
dread,
tormented
yeah.
by the fucking creeping unknown. When I finally finished school, I spent the summer just crashed the fuck out. Well earned.
Yeah.
I barely moved from the couch, burning through DVD box sets. Oh, I'd love to know what he was watching. Kojak, Smallville, I don't care. It could be interesting. On the last night I slept in that room, my parents went out to see some friends. I stayed home. After all of the crap I had been through the past year with school and other stuff, I had a brief flash of teenage rebellion. Swiped some of my dad's whiskey and had a few glasses before going to bed. I can totally identify with that.
100%.
Yeah, every night.
And once again, the fear came upon me. But this time, I was hopped up on teen rebellion and a gut full of cheap whiskey. I wish I had written that line. Hopped up on teen rebellion and a gut full of cheap whiskey.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
like early Jack Burton.
It really is.
Yeah, really,
That's
yeah.
teenage
Yeah.
Jack
Shit.
Burton.
Philip Marlowe meets early Jack Burton. I sat up in bed and yelled, "Go fuck yourself," and flipped up a middle finger at the darkness. Then it grabbed my hand and squeezed hard.
Oh, shit.
It had a corpse's hand, ice cold and stiff, nearly impossible to break free. It wasn't curious. It wasn't amused. It was angry. I knew I had crossed a line. There would be no reasoning, no arguing, no apologies, or coming to some kind of understanding. It wanted to hurt me.
Oh, fuck.
And then it slapped me, hard enough to knock me out of the bed. Not a punch, an open-handed slap. That's just the word.
Okay.
Because all of us want to believe. Like Barbara Hershey at the end of the pseudo-documentarian horror film The Entity. She gives it grief, and then the door opens and she leaves. Now, granted, when it was frozen in carbonite, the ghost shattered. You've seen The Entity, right, Mark? You're looking at me like you don't know what I'm talking about. Anyone who's seen The Entity knows the deal. It's loosely based on a real story of a woman being physically and sexually molested by this fucking thing, and then these paranormal investigators coming in, chronicling it. Then it goes to fiction land where they build a fake house for her in this gymnasium of a university, and they freeze the ghost. The ghost shatters and gets out.
Yeah.
She goes home to pack up and leave with her kids. The door slams on her house, and she's like, "Eat a dick!" And the door opens, and she's able to escape. You always want to think that, like, you know, whether it's a demon, a ghost, whatever. Like, if I invoke the God I worship, or if I'm determined enough on the inside, if I have the fucking moxie, I can be like, eat it. This poor bastard is like, I'm drunk on Dad's rock gut whiskey. I'm sleeping in this room. You want to fuck with me? Fuck you. And bam, out of bed. It's so disheartening. It's so
the
terrifying.
ghost was not having his teen rebellion nor a gut full of whiskey.
No.
The ghost is not having it.
It is terrifying.
You mean the Talpa?
I'm sorry, the
Excuse me.
Talpa.
Yes, the Talpa, of course.
The Talpa.
You fuckers.
I managed to pull free and immediately got the fuck out of there. I ran down to the kitchen, lights on all the way down, and waited for my parents to come home. 18 years old, afraid of the dark and waiting for my parents. Looking back on it now, it stings. Feel no shame, Dad. Feel no shame. Whatever this thing was, it had been harassing me for years, and the first time I managed to stand up to it, it sent me crying for my parents. Yeah, that cuts, man, but it's not your bad. After that, I slept in my old room. Nothing ever bothered me in there, before or since. A few months later, I moved for university, and it never came near me again. Today, when I sleep in the room where it all happened, it's nice and quiet. No more nighttime visitors. Maybe it somehow burned itself out that night. Maybe it moved on to someone else. Maybe it got whatever it needed. Maybe it just got bored. I have no idea. I do still get weird vibes at night, and I keep those curtains drawn, but it's more of a precaution than anything else. This is where this could get dark, but it doesn't necessarily. My nephew is about the same age I was when it started for me, and he visits my parents a lot. I've tried asking him if he's had any similar experiences, but it's difficult to phrase it in a way that won't scare him. I totally get that. I don't think anything has happened to him. I hope it hasn't, but I can't say for sure. So what the fuck was that? I did my own research and came up with 4 possible explanations. This is the first for us. Like someone really breaking it down and trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So Dan, God bless him, breaks it down in a way that we don't usually get. Not that I fault anyone for not doing it, but he's a university guy. He's an academic, and he's gonna bring it home. So what we get is number one, some psychotic fucking pervert.
Oh Jesus!
I know it's on the table.
You know,
it's horrible.
I mean, there it is.
Likelihood possible, but highly unlikely. There were no footprints. No one else ever saw anything. And the window in the room where the worst happened could not be opened without breaking in. I really hope I'm not wrong on that. That's number one. He's going legit. He's doing what we do. He's like, let's deal with skeptical.
Yeah. I'm going to say no, though.
You
I'm
don't
saying
think
right now.
I don't think it is a psychotic fucking pervert.
No.
Number two, I was hallucinating / imagining the whole thing for years, particularly when I was super stressed out and exhausted during the final year of school. I like that brutal self-assessment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Likelihood, not impossible, but if I was hallucinating something this distinct consistently for nearly a decade, especially before the major school stress really kicked off, surely there would be other things, right? Other symptoms, other experiences, but there is nothing. Outside of the standard millennial depression and a healthy dose of Catholic guilt, I have a clean bill of mental health. I did not and do not have hallucinations, hear voices, or have any issues separating fantasy from reality. I just had an entity following me for about a decade, which admittedly sounds like a red flag, but I haven't had any other issues. It seems like a brutally honest assessment. We can't rule it out completely.
Sure.
Right.
But I like the fact that he's like acknowledging it. He's like, yes, it could be.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's still
Some
definitely
shit
a
that's
possibility.
Yeah.
And we can't take it off the table. But like I say, I appreciate the fact that he admits it, and I'm willing to go deeper.
Totally.
Number 3 is where it gets interesting. My university had a massive library, and like any good nerd, I spent most of my time in there. I do love a library. Oh, I can identify with that. In trying to research what the fuck happened to me, I started looking into the history and local legends of where I lived, and found something incredible. Supposedly, in the pre-Christian times, a witch lived in the general area. Her fort was flooded and destroyed when she died. A flood? Well, water kills witches. There are many stories of her treasure hidden in the fields around our house, which I had never heard of. When I asked, my dad told me that there had been a few archaeological digs in the area long before I was born, but he didn't know the full details. It wasn't a secret or anything, it just never came up. We never found anything ourselves, but we haven't exactly been tearing the place up. I found the field where her fort supposedly was. It's a nice field, but it's just a field now.
Field.
Now, the use of fort, like I'm used to cottage, hovel,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't help but think like it's like a little, buttress with fucking walls and
Because
stuff.
fort for America is a fucking
It's a military
fortified
installation.
Yeah. All right.
Fort.
I mean,
Maybe
Like,
she had a fortified.
can you have a
hovel
fort?
of herbs.
But can you have a fort by you? Can you one witch man an entire fort?
Well, with magic, yeah.
Okay. Oh, true.
Because you got demons and
True,
other fucking succubious fucking shits.
Yeah.
Succubious.
Do you?
Am I succubious?
The demon,
Yes, I am.
the demon ring to control the demons.
Well, if you're Solomon,
if you're Solomon,
yeah.
that's
Well,
and you know what?
someone else
Why
must have
was
had
he
it.
never fucking impugned for that? I'm not going to try to go too deep, but the man used demons to build the fucking temple that housed the fucking Ark of the Covenant.
Because
and
it's-
you'd think God would be like, I expect my workers to be a little less fucking,
well, but if you're using
filthy
if
and
you're,
vile.
No.
if you're using the evil,
greater good, it's
yeah,
greater
if
good.
you're just
Good.
using the evil,
So
to
if
get
Old
it's
the
a greater
Testament
good-
God is a greater good God. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how he gets
Yeah,
there.
Old Testament God gives no fuck.
Yeah.
All
Like,
right, so
David can kill a dude to fuck his wife, but he killed Goliath, so he's awesome.
Yeah.
pretty much.
A little
And you know what?
hypocrisy.
This witch has a banging fort.
She has a banging sweet fort.
sweet fort.
And it's like the F Troop fort in my mind. It
Yeah.
is middle America, 1800s, fucking post-Civil War cavalry fort.
Totally.
Not that I've seen a lot of F Troop. I haven't. But the episodes I've
yeah.
seen, it is literally the only version of a fort I have in my mind.
All right.
All right, which fort? Flooded. Dead.
Do it.
Yeah, and she died. So we digressed a smidge. Okay. I found a few different accounts of treasure seekers searching the area. None of these stories ended well. One story had them chased off by feral black dogs. Again, that harkens back to traditional stories of the ominous portents of death that are black dogs,
Right.
but also Dan's personal experience with black dogs.
When he was a kid, getting chased into the house.
A second has a monstrous bull chase them.
Weird.
And in another, an elderly woman interrupted their dig to offer them water on a hot day. Oh, so sweet.
Nice.
Oh, so sweet. If it was Tennessee, it would have been lemonade. Spoiler alert, it wasn't water. They all died within a week. And thank you, Dan, for writing this. Poisoned to fuck.
Wait a minute.
The old woman showed up and was like, "Have some water."
You young men are working so... You're parched. You're parched, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, they're in Ireland,
Have a
yeah.
sip. Have a sip.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no,
at
that's
all.
wow. That lady's fucking rude.
She's evil.
That's fucking rude.
A fucking witch.
Yeah.
Not like not a cool Wiccan witch.
Nah,
but like
man.
a traditional old school
Hag. Haggish.
You know what though, dude?
Jerk.
Maybe
Haggish
she was.
jerk.
If she was wronged,
She might have been.
She could have been
There might be
wronged.
some justification.
remember Thinner?
Oh, I love
Remember?
that.
Yeah, she
Oh,
could
I
have been
mean, I never
wrong.
saw the movie, but the book was great.
The
could have been
movie's
wrong.
not good.
I
Yeah,
believe
not
it.
really phenomenal. She could have been wronged.
Nevertheless, the one reoccurring theme in these stories is that they were all stopped or scared off just when they found something right on the edge of discovery.
Oh, Oak Island.
Yeah, really.
There it is, yeah.
Oh, what a bunkery.
Yeah.
Like, ever since fucking In Search of, I've been fascinated. But really, the more I see it, it's like, you're wasting your time and money. Stop doing it.
Whatever.
It's a hole that you didn't even know was made by anyone else. Stop.
Just keep digging and hoping.
I
shit
know. I
works
want
out.
there to be something, but,
Yeah.
oh, In Search of. I love that show.
Same here.
The witch apparently had a particular affinity for dogs. There were a lot of stories about strange black dogs in the area, not just the one that had them protecting the treasure. Now, let's be fair. And again, I really appreciate Dan's analytical nature here. I had that experience with a large black dog that would chase me if it saw me outside. And my whole family saw it at different times. Yes, I have heard dogs howling and barking late at night. And maybe the black dog ties in with the black dog of folklore. But black dogs and angry bulls aren't exactly unusual to see in such a rural area. I really appreciate his pragmatism. This is great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Likelihood. I mean, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
That's a great breakdown. I mean, yeah, sure.
I can't deny that a
happen.
ghost witch and her dog familiar from the late Iron Age stalking me for several years would explain my experience. But the prospect of dealing with the ghost of a vengeful pre-Christian witch is worse than if it was just some pervert. Yes, it is. Perverts
really.
suck, but come on. You can shoot a pervert and bury him out back where no one will find him, but what do you do with a ghost witch and her devil dog?
Yeah.
And isn't that the universal question?
You really can't prepare for that. The pervert you can see coming. You can always catch a pervert.
You can kill a pervert.
You can kill a pervert.
You can
can't-
emasculate
you
and or
can't
castrate
catch
a pervert.
witch and her
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah, but satanic devil dogs. Oh, devil dog. That made-for-TV movie. You guys remember that one? Where it looked like a triceratops
Vaguely.
and superimposed
Jesus,
vision.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, actually, now that you said that, I
Made
do.
for TV from the
All
love
right,
late
so
70s.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I guess how do you fight this thing?
You fucking invoke the wrath of God.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's always
This is the one place, definitely, where Old Testament God comes in handy.
Okay.
Because he's mean-spirited.
He is.
I mean, yes, New Testament God has its place, and he's loving and merciful, and he sacrificed his son, and booyah. I know. It is what it is. But Old Testament God is like, oh, you fucking with me? You stepped in my territory?
Oh no.
Eat it. Burn everything. Sodom and Gomorrah,
You
this
question me?
motherfucker?
Earth flood.
Yeah, earth flood. Yeah. Oh, really? Boom.
Nice.
Drown.
Yeah.
So, I guess a devil dog and a witch demand Old Testament vengeance. And in lieu of that, a serious ostracization from society.
Probably,
And
yeah.
a solid scolding
Yeah.
from the local pastor.
people will be talking about you
Oh, absolutely.
behind your back in a negative way.
Let's move on to number 4.
Okay.
Something else was going on. I mean, it's not as cool as, right. For sure, whatever. Something else was going on. Maybe supernatural, maybe not. But there might be something I'm not thinking of after years of trying to figure out what happened to me. It's also possible that the thing in my room and the garden were 2 different things who both took an interest in me, one after the other. I love that. I love Dan's analytical nature because this is the shit we would do. Yeah. It's not necessarily related. You could have some black dog shit, which has its own substantial lore going way back, and something heinous witch-like, or maybe it has nothing to do with the witch. Maybe that's just a legend, and some omnipresent dark force was looking at him through the window. We don't know. But I like the fact that he's willing to separate the two, even if they're not unrelated.
Right.
Possibly related to this whole thing is the abandoned mental institution in the woods nearby. Oh, okay, so there it is.
Really?
Why don't you throw in an Indian burial ground? And I don't know what else.
Yeah,
this late in the game, you're throwing on the cemetery with the bodies that didn't get moved as per the last episode.
Yeah, for shits and giggles.
You didn't move the bodies. There's a mental institution.
Yeah, wow. Indian burial ground anywhere. I mean, what's going on here?
Abandoned carnival.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh yeah.
Don't forget carnival. The witch fort. There's a fucking witch fort.
Yeah, no. How can you ever forget the witch?
Well, that was already explained. We get this is new things now.
This is more modern.
I didn't tell you, but there's an abandoned mental institution.
Just in case you didn't know, whatever.
Okay, all right. So there's okay,
which was shut down after some weird deaths, and I swear to God, I'm not joking. And to this, I will say, Dan,
favorite metal band,
sent us some links to legitimate articles discussing weird deaths at a local institution. I am not going to discuss them in detail because that reveals a little too much about the space and everything else. But it's fucking weird. I know for a fact that there were at least 2 other weird deaths. This is the only one that got enough coverage to make it online. And here's where he adds, and this is what I just said, I'd really appreciate you not giving the name or location of the hospital or the patient for my parents'. Nice tense, Rob.
You guys all got parents?
You got parents?
I got parents.
Let's go down here with your parents. I'm going to need you to call your parents.
For my parents' own privacy.
Yeah, totally.
I'm only providing the info to prove I'm not messing with you. Well, I didn't think you were messing. Okay. We got the links.
Perfect.
They seem legit. There are 3 things I know, and this is the end of the story.
Okay.
That the window could not have been opened. Something happened to that desk lamp. And if that thing was real, whatever it was there for me, no one else. Dan. All right, Dan, it's a little narcissistic at the end. How do you know? It's just for you. But they haven't been said. I'm talking shit.
Sure.
I know, I'm just talking shit.
It's like maybe there's a ton of things after me because I'm special. Dan.
I'm magic. But honestly, I do love his analytical perspective.
He has a good breakdown.
This
actually.
doesn't normally.
Clearly, he was university educated.
Yeah, totally.
And not that any of us were, but fucking God bless him for doing it. And so he broke this down, and he's like, this could be, but this could not be. But it seems legit, and it's scary.
Yeah.
I mean, a lamp going on its own in and of itself is not significant.
No.
But the black dog frightening you into your house. Now, yeah, it could be a wild stray, not even necessarily rabid.
That's it's almost like if you took it out of the story. I feel like I don't know if that's really a part of it. I understand why you put it in there.
It might not be.
Right.
But it still seems significant, especially considering black dog lore throughout history.
Black dog lore.
Right.
No, I mean, really.
No,
I know black canines.
I know what you're saying.
That are not significant in any supernatural way.
I'm just in the bulk of the story. I feel like
right.
It might be thing. I feel like it's not.
But chasing him in so often, you're right. It's not directly linked to the rest. Chris is 100% right when he says
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying Like, yeah, there's black dog folklore,
But it doesn't mean it's related. But I know what you're saying. Like, this could be just completely just some rando dog that fucking, wants to own your backyard.
The bulk of this story has much more. There's
Oh,
more
much
tendons and stuff. But it starts with, like, here's a black dog. And then it's not. Maybe it is connected. I don't know.
This is what I always thought should have happened, because I grew up loving the Brady Bunch, as a lot of people in my generation did. It's not great, but I watched it. But I thought, when Greg adopts the attic room, there should be a nefarious force. Like, if they're going to go Tiki Doll and fucking Vincent Price when they go to Hawaii.
That is weird, right?
It's like, you get upgraded to a room, but there should have been at least one episode, even if it gets disproven, where he thinks the attic is haunted. And they have to fucking deal with it, and ends up being like a super breeze and a fucking escaped owl from an owl asylum, whatever the fuck they do. I was always like, this is like, he got his sister's room. She goes to university. I would love if Dan had some stories, if his sister had experiences, or if she gave no fucks or whatever.
Right.
And so he inherits the room, and then shit goes south. When he goes back to his normal old school room, he's fine. Then he has that one ballsy return. I'm drinking my dad's whiskey. My parents are out. I'm 18. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to university. You're the dead ghost. And then all of a sudden,
the ghost is not having it. Yeah.
Slapped out
Which is
of bed.
pretty fucking
true, but that
crazy.
was the last time, right?
And so he
Apparently,
says,
yeah,
did it expend the rest of his energy?
Right.
Or, and this is also something you have to consider, was he so much more respectful following that? Because he was humbled in a way that I feel really bad for, like almost emasculated. And you're not, Dan. You are a legitimate fucking solid dude, and anyone would be terrified. But he said he felt bad being an 18-year-old crying, waiting for his parents to come home. Shit, I'd be worse than that. I probably would have burned my parents' house to the ground and been running into the next village, but whatever. I don't shame yourself for that. But after that, did it expend his energy and leave him alone, or was he so much more humble, so much more evasive that he just didn't have another experience? And I wouldn't fault him for that, by the way, at all. But I don't necessarily know that it really expended its energy and it was over. It might be just that he wasn't going to step up like that, and who could blame him?
Right, or because he did step up to it and it did kind of have a reaction to him, obviously, that was the end of it.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense.
If he acknowledges,
like, if it has the power to be like, "Oh, you're adorable,"
if it wanted something from him, though, whatever it did, it doesn't seem like if it wanted just to be acknowledged on that level.
Yeah,
but it was acknowledged long before, and we don't know.
He never said he actually physically acknowledged it. He would be hiding under the covers, but he never actually came to
actively hyper praying.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. It just seems to me that whatever he did, either the thing was like, ha, gotcha, see ya, or it's like, okay, you did that, I'll give you one, and that's that.
I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be. If this thing is a primordial force, or even if it was something more recently manifested in the Iron Age, as he says, I don't think that was enough to end it. I don't think it could possibly be. Even if that's the end of his chapter of it,
right.
I don't think that ends it. I don't think he was his bravery stopped it in a Beowulf type fashion, even though I admire him for doing it, nor do I think his beatdown expended its energy.
Right.
And it wasn't a beatdown, it was a slap that sends you out of bed. But by the way, an open-handed slap that throws you from a bed is not fucking
especially
around.
when no one's
right.
there. It's bad.
But if the thing, if it really is a fear feeder, and it knew even after, it's like I got one chance to reel you back into my thing,
right?
And it fucking hits him or whatever. If things still senses that it's not going in that direction, it's gonna fucking leave.
Well, he went to university. So who knows if he had remained in that room, how much the torment would have increased. And we can't go by Patrick Swayze ghost protocols. Like that bug-eyed dude who was like the autopsy teacher in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's like, you got to have enough energy to kick that can and do whatever.
No,
like,
I'm
that's
talking
not science. That's just fiction.
Talking tulpa terms. If this thing knows you're not going to fear it anymore, it might give you one less slap. Just because he was still fucked up doesn't mean he still didn't know that it was the end of that.
Chris is absolutely on something here, but here's what I'd say to contradict that. in terms of your Tulpa theory, which I'm fascinated by, the terror he showed following that slap, running downstairs, switching on all the lights, waiting for his parents tearfully, would give the Tulpa all the power in the world. If anything, if it is a Tulpa and Tulpas are somehow fueled or powered by our fear of them and our acknowledgement of them, if anything, his rejection and then slapped out of bed and then his wholehearted terror of it would infuse it with just a megaton of power.
Well, since none of us know actually how tulpas work.
All right, but assuming they work on the strength of your belief and the amount of fear you have in them.
Right, but if they're sensing that, yeah, maybe this one last thing might give you just a boost, but you know that they're going to fight you every time from now on,
right?
You might fucking just move on from that. You're like, I get it, I'm doing this last thing, and you freaked out, but you did this one thing.
I agree with you.
That's all I'm saying.
And again, Dan, I would do exactly what you had done and probably quicker. If he had crawled back into bed and said, double fuck you, then maybe that would work. But he didn't.
Well, he didn't have the chance.
He fed into the fear of running downstairs.
But there wasn't another chance after that.
I agree. I just don't think the Tulpa got drained of energy because it thought he no longer fears me.
No, I'm not saying he got... Well, I'm not saying it necessarily got drained, but if it knows it can't get what it needs fully, it's going to move on to somebody else. Why not?
That I agree. If he's going to university or something, yes, I agree.
Right.
But I don't think if this isn't like an ultra-terrestrial or potentially a Tulpa that feeds on fear, it's still eating. At this point, it's still eating.
Again, I don't know the rules.
No, none
so
of us
you don't
do.
know how they work in that way.
Yes, but I can't say
in that moment, sure, but you don't know
Listen,
how. What
Nancy
they
at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street is like, "Fuck you, Freddy. I don't believe in you."
Yeah,
and the knives go through her, and she's fine. Until of course the post credit where they're brought into oblivion with a fucking convertible with Freddy's
sequels. This is how the kids beat it in Stephen King. They're like, "I don't believe in you," and then they lose all the power.
But being angry at something, it lashing back, and then you manifesting fear and running away is not, at least in the context of fiction.
Right.
But you're right. We don't know the rules. We don't know what's going on.
So what's more interesting with that, though, is that if this was a Tulpa, so did this...
If it was, let's talk about what it could be.
Did this kid accidentally manifest a Tulpa?
See, I don't know.
Okay,
because Ireland's
again,
an old-worldy fucking...
rules of Tulpas.
It's got so much delightful
Are you saying
legend.
Tulpas are like poltergeists, and they come from people, and they aren't a thing?
No,
people have to make them
my understanding
be a thing?
of a Tulpa is
or
something
a poltergeist attracted to the thing. Like I'm not entirely sure poltergeists are Tulpa-like in that they're manifested by pubescent teens, especially young girls. They might just be energy manifestations that are attracted to that energy. So
my understanding is
you mean something that already was not people not made from
exists.
You, right?
Except, like the way a shark is attracted to blood and water. Like it's not there, but it smells blood in the water and it goes.
Normally with a Tulpa though, you manifest it.
I'm talking about poltergeist right now.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm trying to find the distinction.
Are either manifested or, as Chris suggested, and I don't necessarily think he's wrong,
right.
or they are these weird amorphous entities that are attracted to this kind of psychic angst and pressure.
Right.
Now, a Tulpa is created by belief and intense focus, and it could be something here. But again, like I say, it's not just because Ireland's been habitated for so long. Right. It is a place of legend and myth, and maybe it has nothing to do with a witch, and maybe it has nothing to do with black dog theory, but it could still be something that is intrinsic to the geography, the place, the human habitation that's been there for a long time, and maybe there's something just malicious and fucking vile.
It's possible.
And maybe it's a black dog, maybe it's not. And when you're there and that window with the key in it, which still is, anathema to me, and it's just looking at you. First off, move back to your old room quickly. But I'm just saying who knows? If it is a Tulpa, it has to be created by him. And if it was, I don't think it was dissolved, disintegrated, annihilated by his reaction to it that last
See, I thought
night.
maybe if as a kid, if he was suffering from some sort of like severe depression and like anxiety, that would almost be like a manifestation of that by just having just that energy kind of pushing it out there. But he stated clearly that he was mental health wise, he was fairly solid.
Yeah, but he was also super stressed, and he admitted it.
Right. But this happened with him being a kid, being lasting an entire decade.
And yes, that's too
Like
long.
if as a 15-year-old kid, I was fucking riddled with fucking anxiety and depression. It lasted into my 20s. But
As a 45-year-old kid, I was really
yeah, no, I'm still no.
Yeah.
So
No,
it's
but
almost
no, I agree.
because a lot of the way he describes it, it almost feels like how I used to feel when I would get like panic attacks.
Sure.
Really bad.
But you never had them where they manifested as physical, anomalous, painful events.
No, I definitely.
They were always inside out, not outside in.
I definitely did have some pretty weird breaking points though, where I thought I was hallucinating, and it was just the anxiety and the depression and stress and everything. And,
Truly,
and also
that
too,
manifests in a lot of ways.
like sleep deprivation because I could never
Right.
sleep, like kind of getting to me. But I could recognize that and
Right.
be like, no, this is not a fucking.
Did
you
you
a
ever feel, though,
tulpa.
that you were being physically attacked by an outside force?
No, never physically
Or
attacked.
stalked,
Never
even.
physically attacked, but I would say that there were definitely times where I could say that when you get that harsh wave of anxiety, that you
Right.
definitely feel it almost like a person with you.
Oh,
where you're just
God.
like, oh fuck, man, here it comes. But again, that doesn't really matter too much with my take on it with that because he came out and said that I'm fairly mental health wise okay
Absolutely.
and put together with this.
No,
so
he's
I mean,
together.
I guess that brings us right back to the Fae.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I mean, maybe.
Could be.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, otherworldly entities, some of which have benevolent intentions,
Yeah.
most of which I think are apathetic.
Or he did
and
bring
a
up
group of which may have genuinely malicious agendas.
well, whatever this thing was. It clearly had
Witches.
had a malicious intent to it, and he also
It
said,
seems like it.
"What do you do about the witch and the dogs?" That
move.
might very well be it.
Clearly, you move.
If whatever this thing was for some reason attracted to him and was just tormenting him for over a decade, feeling leashed. It's kind of
That is interesting.
Either,
Let's go back to that thought.
Well,
the
either-
idea that the thing couldn't go beyond a certain geographical barrier.
Right.
Like
Which
that
is
really
kind
that
of-
demands
yeah.
really more attention because what that's basically saying is that he felt it was tempting him towards it.
right.
And he was sage enough even at that young age to be like, "No, fuck you. I wouldn't do it." And so to me, it's interesting. Now, he comes from a Roman Catholic background, and he doesn't state specifically, does he think it's God preventing him? Does he
Right.
think it's a curse that has a fucking line in the ground? Is it a ley line? He doesn't say, but it's really interesting to think that he feels like this thing is calling him,
Right.
but it can't cross that fucking line.
Yeah.
I find that really fascinating.
It
So
is.
this seems to be clearly a different thing.
This is what Dan actually says. I was scared because I didn't understand what it was, but it wasn't actively aggressive. I'd almost described it as leashed. I got bad vibes from the thing, but it never moved from behind the car or low wall. I got the feeling it wanted to, but it was holding back. So,
Yeah.
indeed, you have to ask yourself, what is restricting it? That's why, I mean, I don't know limitations or whatever on tulpas,
Well,
but I think to myself, you almost can't help but to go back to like classic litany of, there are diabolical forces, there are good forces, and there are limits on this.
Right.
And if this thing really wants to attack him but can't,
Yeah.
why? And
That's
is it
what I
looking
mean.
at him through the window?
Is it even the same thing?
Is it even the same thing?
It could be something else. I would assume though that if maybe there's some sort of threshold that it can't cross for some reason, which is sort of a thing with
Well,
ghosts.
it's a vampire thing. You got to invite it in.
Yeah, but it's also with
That's-
ghosts, though, too.
Demons can't go. Like the car couldn't go into a.
If you
consecrated
pour a bunch of
cemetery.
salt and shit or whatever, and you do your sage, the ghost apparently can't penetrate your protective bubble of sage salt.
there are.
I guess, if that's how the
definitely
science
a lot
Yeah,
of
well,
rituals
that's
that seem to bar.
Definitely in supernatural.
I think in most magical practices,
Salt is a
in most
barrier.
magical shit, there is a way to bar evil from coming near you.
Right.
So maybe that was happening. Maybe his Catholic being a Catholic or whatever, maybe that helped do it. Who knows?
So if something.
But it did get in at some point.
Well, it didn't. Well, it did.
Assuming it's the same thing.
Assuming it's the same thing, yeah. It
Which I'm still
eventually
not convinced.
Progressed, yeah.
Well, but that locked window, maybe there was still some sort of
I don't know.
opening or whatever.
Yeah.
I just find it intriguing. I think he
he
created it in his own mind.
No, I don't either, but I think he covered...
I'm not saying it didn't happen, and I'm not rejecting your theory, Chris, at all. But it just seems to me like this seems like an assault rather than a psychological manifestation of your own insecurities.
Dude, I never even said that Tulpas... You guys are saying that it's manifest. I'm trying to figure out the difference between what you're saying a poltergeist was and a tulpa. Because first you're saying one's manifested, one is not. And I'm like, well, are they both manifested? How could you tell the difference if there's not a prepubescent girl there between a tulpa and
I guess, well, yeah,
a
by
poltergeist?
that train of thought, yeah, you wouldn't really...
A tulpa is created from belief and intention.
Yes.
It is not independently
That's the lore.
active.
That's technically right now the
yes,
lore
but
of
that's
a
all we
tulpa.
have. That's all we have.
I'm asking.
Right.
So I don't know.
Poltergeists, there is a debate, I think. And again, I can't proclaim to be an expert. Is it manifested by the angst of these young people? Or is it attracted, like I say, like a shark to blood by the angst of these young people?
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think there's still great debate. Could there be similarities and or distinct connections between Tulpa
I was always
and
under...
Poltergeist? Maybe, but I still think of one thing as being invoked and another thing as being attracted. Doesn't mean I'm right.
I always assumed that the poltergeist was just subconsciously sort of put out there, not necessarily.
That was generally generally manifested.
Yeah,
by the person,
but not consciously. Just because there's supposed to be a whole hormonal fucking raging thing happening, and it just sort of psychically manifests
and there's
itself.
definitely a school of thought that indicates that it is this tumultuous inner hormonal, psychological, biological, fucking tempest that allows for shit to fly off a wall, and whatever, and that it is usually a young girl, sometimes a young boy's angst that creates this psychic vortex. 100% that is a real theory.
This is one that was a decade.
Well, 10 years.
So that would be a
is a long
fucking
time.
hike.
That is a very long time.
That's a very long time. Which, but then again, if he was going through some super fucking stressful shit, quite possibly, maybe, I guess.
No, we always have to entertain the thought that there could be a genuine psychological backdrop to this that is in no way, shape, or form paranormal.
Right. An accidental tulpa seems kind of...
the accidental tourist.
If you accidentally conjure a tulpa or manifest a tulpa, that seems just kind of like wrong place, wrong time.
Well, conjure is different. Conjure, you're assuming that, to me, when you say conjure, that means it exists and you call it.
Right. Yes.
Not
a conjuring is a bringing into being.
Right. Not necessarily creating, you're calling it forth from somewhere else. So
Here's
what do you mean by conjure, I guess?
Cannot believe in the accidental tulpa. We have all had imaginings.
The
We've all had
tulpa.
great hybrids of superheroes. We've all had manifestations of fears, anxieties, and hopes. And we are not living in a world of fucking...
there's 8 billion people, and you'd think there'd be more.
Exactly. Spider-Man
like
with an
fucking-
elk head.
I mean,
we
if
don't
you're-
have this as a common thing. So this cannot be an easy thing to have
No,
happen.
I think if you're setting out to make a tulpa and you happen to create or manifest a tulpa, then okay, there's an argument there. But I don't really think this kid's going to just all of a sudden produce one.
If teenage angst, honest to Christ, produced tulpas, we would be living
Everyone
in
would have
Foster's
one.
imaginary home for children.
Nobody
with
would
a
not have a
nightmare
tulpa.
twist.
We'd all have a tulpa.
We'd all
It'd be
have
like Harry
tulpas.
Potter and owls. You'd all have a
Yes.
fucking tulpa that appeared in your fucking room as soon as you had fucking peach fuzz on your nuts.
It's true.
And as soon
Every
as-
Beowulf would have his Grendel.
Yeah.
He
It would
would.
be
Yeah.
a living
Hey, Chris,
nightmare
I'm a tulpa.
world.
Yeah.
There
And by
you
the
go.
way, I hope Tim Burton makes the movie.
That would be
where
fucking
every
dope.
imaginary friend in tulpa you manifest either to help you through a tough time or to torment you because you like to beat yourself up more than your
So I
bullies
guess-
are. That would be
Yeah.
fascinating, but that cannot be reality.
No.
For if it were, we'd be living in a very different world.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe he just was
Tormented
tormented
by
by something. Yeah.
some evil force. It might be primordial. It might only be, Middle Ages or Iron Ages Jan.
Yeah.
But fucking
Jan.
Something was there.
was eating at him, and it was probably geospecific.
Yeah.
Maybe less than, maybe personality specific. Maybe he's as sensitive. Maybe Dan was more in tune with this shit, and he felt it more than his parents or his sibling because, some people are more in tune, some people are less in tune. I feel like I'm more empathetic than some people and less than others, but
right.
some of us can walk in the room and get a vibe. I think most of us that are very sensitive
I think most people
and caring we can walk in a room, and sometimes we choose to give a fuck and sometimes we don't, and other people can't even help it. Like they are literally a radar dish of emotion, and they're going to fucking suck in everything that's coming around them. And some of that might be corporeal and some of it might not be. And if he's feeling and if he's engaging with things that maybe his family cannot or are not willing to do so, then he might be engaging on a level that is much more profound but infinitely more terrifying than normal people get to deal with in their workaday lives.
Yeah, and if something just happened to be attracted to him, then there you go.
And if something is attracted. If it is a witch that happened to live in her fucking sweet fort, God bless that phrase.
Witch
with her
fort.
massive
Whatever
treasure.
that means.
Yeah,
drowned in
fort.
yon flood.
Yeah.
I'm using yon again. Fucking, if all that shit happens...
Yeah.
That's kind of fascinating, but I will say one thing. I've got nothing but empathy for Dan. This is a tough road to hoe.
Yeah, that's
almost
definitely
a decade
not,
of dealing with this when you're young is if he's living a reasonable life as an adult, God bless him, because that would be debilitating as shit for most people. So God bless you, Dan. And secondly, I'm glad the fucking desk lamp didn't burn your house down, and I'm sorry that every time he tried to be proactive, it's like, I'm going to put a lamp here. Fuck you.
Right.
Oh, it's on, and Dad sees it on his patrol. It's off. I'm going to
that's
drink
fucked.
Dad's whiskey and be like, eat it. Oh, wait, you're going to fucking slap me into fucking the next dimension, and I'm going to fall out of the bed. Like, every time he tried to show...
But that was the end.
But he moved soon after.
It was the end, yeah.
But it still was the end, regardless.
It was the end,
Yeah.
He didn't...
The end. Like,
But do you really think that it expended... its malicious
I have
energy
no
in
idea.
that one slap?
I don't know how
something about though that last one made it the end.
He took a
I
stand.
don't know what
he
it
took
is,
a stand.
though.
It took a shot, and then it ended.
The end of a paranormal event to me is like the end of a movie. It gets sequelized or it doesn't almost arbitrarily. Now, we know if in movie terms,
Well,
is it a
sure,
financial
but-
success? Is it whatever? But a decided ending in real life isn't always an ending.
Okay, well maybe if he could still be haunted to this day. We just know
I'd like to know.
I don't. Well, I assume he would say there would be an addendum that says,
he would
"Well,
say, yeah.
guess what? Fuck showed up. Thanks, fuckers."
Guess what?
But-
Shit's still fucked.
If I may, today when I sleep in the room where it all happened, it's nice and quiet. I'm very happy about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No more nighttime visitors. Maybe it somehow burned itself out that night. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Right.
Maybe it moved on to someone else. Maybe it got whatever it needed. Maybe it just got bored. I have no idea.
Right.
I do still get weird vibes at night. That is a telling sentence. I keep those curtains drawn, but it's more of a precaution than anything else. First off, Dan, kudos to you for having the balls to sleep in that room again. And maybe weird vibes are simply memories of the heinous shit you dealt with.
Sure.
Yeah, he had a
100%.
decade of being tormented by this fucking
But
thing.
I don't think him being rebellious, then getting physically manhandled, necessarily ended its reign of terror.
It could be waiting to come back to get him.
And he was, again, he expressed earlier that he was fearful that his
Maybe
young
it's
nephew
gonna-
might be undergoing the same nightmare.
Maybe he very well could, he also very well could have outgrown it.
All right, let's break this down. What do we think this could be, Mark?
I'm just gonna go with Witch Fort. It was some sort of. It was a witch
what
fort.
is that?
There
That's
you
not
go.
even a thing
Yeah.
you're allowed to
There
say.
was- there
Yeah,
was
it
a
wasn't
witch
even. It
fort.
wasn't the witch. It was the witch fort.
Yeah, it was a witch
floating
fort.
are you
citadel?
doing?
Some sort
So
of.
it's like Baba Yaga and her fucking chicken
I-
claws.
she's like,
Well,
hey,
I think maybe something attached or tried to attach itself to him.
Okay,
and
well,
just tormented
yeah,
him
sure.
for years.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think that it was
explain
an
which
accidental.
fort.
It
You still
was,
haven't explained
yeah, I
which
said
fort.
which
It
fort.
wasn't an accidental tulpa, and
It was a witch fort?
He wasn't conjuring anything, so I think maybe something just sort of fucking attached itself to him, and just for a decade tormented this poor fucking kid.
Witch fort.
Which fort? You know what
I
it
haven't
is?
explained it yet.
Going with which fort?
Fort of a witch.
Oh,
Yeah, you
that
like
explains
that?
it. I
There
wish
it
you had
is.
said it that way
Jesus
first.
Christopher, what do you got?
Guess it's a witch fort.
You got two witch forts. Rob, you gonna jump in our witch fort boat?
No, I
will
mean
not.
it's tough. Either way, the arguments for him. I don't know if accidental summoning, that sounds beat to me, but
Yeah,
like,
Accidental summoning. I mean, it sounds beat, but it's not,
'cause
beyond the pale.
everyone
I don't
is
know.
technically. I don't think anyone sets out to accidentally do a fucking thing.
Yeah, he wasn't Ouijaing his way into oblivion, though.
No.
he
No,
didn't
when
seem
these
to
things
be
happen-
incanting. He just was a kid
No.
chased by a dog, a young adult who got a better bedroom and
right.
got tormented
I mean,
by a
if
You're
locked
stressed, you're
window.
going through some shit, and maybe some shit happens. No one's like, man, I need some paranormal shit in my life right now.
Yeah, like if he was like, yeah, as a 7-year-old kid, I was super into the occult and started conjuring fucking tulpas. Okay, then I would be like, yeah, maybe he did that, but that was never stated. Nor did I think
but
he did
but
that.
then again, like I as far as I know, like the poltergeists, they're not done on purpose either.
Right.
They just are
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
basically. So I mean, there's no reason why I guess it couldn't. But clearly, I feel like he went through this thing, and I don't think it's a pervert.
No.
No.
No, if we're
No.
gonna go through his list quite quickly and simply.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a
pervert,
pervert
no.
either.
No,
Hallucinating, imagining, possibly.
Right.
But
Yeah,
I'm not
no, he's
rooting
right.
for that. The witch is number
maybe,
3. I mean, it's great to have some sort of historical documentation, but again, it's
Right.
hard to commit to that.
So are you saying witch fort? Is that what you're saying? You're
So
saying
wait,
witch
so
fort.
witch
It's a
fort or
word,
not
you're saying
witch
witch
fort?
fort.
I'm not. What I think.
Okay.
Well, maybe I am saying witch fort.
Yeah,
Oh,
see, that's what I mean.
Jesus.
In
you,
the
I-
sense-
you were so against the witch fort, and then you're like,
Shut-
I'm gonna jump in the
Depends
witch
how you
fort.
define witch fort.
Shut your pie hole. I'm not talking about Mark's ridiculous witch fort. What I will say, if the witch fort is representative of a historical paranormal element that lives within this land that his family happened to move to
Right.
and that he happened to engage with, and if that is your quote-unquote metaphorical witch fort,
Then
Yeah,
sure.
clearly,
then
obviously,
maybe he was
nailed it.
dealing with something like that, because I don't
All right.
necessarily think it's psychological, though stress we definitely know can manifest in really dark and weird and inexplicable ways. I think that he really was confronted with something as a kid, something that was barricaded from actively attacking him. But, he got to the point where, I'll only go out so much in my front lawn. I mean, can you think about this? You're a little kid. I remember being scared of bullies, but, like, if I go to the sidewalk, this shit's ill. If I stop midway through my yard, it's a little better. If I'm on my porch, I'm okay. Fuck it. I'm playing Sega. I don't care. I'm
Sure.
not going to deal with this shadow-ridden fuckface anymore that's hiding behind Pop's car.
Sure.
I mean, that alone is terrifying. And then when he upgrades to a new room, Sis is going to university, and whatever, is the broken lock part of it? Did this evil ancestor fucking break the lock in the window so it can never be opened but never be closed? Therefore, evil can come through. I know I'm thinking cinematically. and not logically.
Right.
But I'm
right.
just
What
saying,
you're- so
now,
what
when
you're
you're in this
saying-
room,
You're
with the
making
window with
backstory for the
broken
window.
lock,
Yeah.
Why even when you
Why
pull
don't
the
you just say
drapes,
witch
why?
fort?
Because
I mean, honestly, just come out and say it.
you haven't defined what witch
Oh,
fort
Jesus,
means.
you just wanted to send him in
Tell
a
me-
journey that was complete fiction. Just say witch fort.
Oh, now I'm the master of complete fiction.
Say witch fort.
I will not do this.
Son of a bitch.
Fort
Just
Witch?
say- yeah,
Fort
say-
Witch?
Oh, you said it. There you go.
Fort
Backwards.
Witchingham,
It's
Massachusetts.
like witches. If you say it backwards, it's actually forwards. Ha! So you know what that means?
No.
Witch fort.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Witch fort.
You literally have diarrhea of the mouth.
All right. Well, there you go. All right.
Listen, so no, it's not a fucking witch fort.
It's Fort Witch.
It's a fort that holds witches
A Fort Witch.
that can visit your property in the form of
Jesus.
black objects.
All right. Cool. I like it.
and go through your window because the demon key is broken in the lock.
That's a Fort
Oh,
Witch.
there it is.
It's Fort Witch.
Thank you all so very much for joining us.
Dan, I'm so sorry you went through this. We are not belittling you in any
Dan,
way.
thank you so
we
much.
empathize with your fucking plight so much. And you know what?
I tried.
Fort Witch is a
Apparently
nightmare.
it's Fort Witch.
I'm so sorry.
Dan, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone out there supporting the show and listening. Patreon.com/Kryptonaut Podcast. Check that out. Hellerspace.com. Get yourself some merch. Christmas is around the corner.
Oh, yeah. You
Fuck
must
yeah.
know somebody
Shit.
that needs...
There you go. Get yourself some
Stocking
merch.
stuffers, 9 shirts.
Oh, can you
Vanna
imagine?
stocking. I don't know if it does. Probably not.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. Throw coffee mugs at everyone you
man.
love. If you know someone that drinks coffee, even if they give 0 fucks about witchforts, fucking hook them up
Yeah,
with
do
our
it.
shit.
Son of
9
a
shirts and a
bitch.
mug.
There
9
it is.
shirts and a mug. It's the new... Bing Crosby couldn't have sang it
Yeah.
better.
9
Nine shirts and a
mug. All right. Watch out for Witchforts. We'll be talking to you soon.
Oh, goddamn
Goodbye.
Witchforts. It's something deeper, but it's Fort Witch. Yeah, it really
Witchforts.
is.
There it is.
It's a witch with forts.
Goodbye.